first year stories. Do you remember that time we got kicked out of the comedy club for laughing too hard?
Yes, I do. It's like getting kicked out of a restaurant for eating, or like, man, I got kicked out of the cinema for watching the film.
Hello and welcome back. This is Anecdote episode 6. Last week we were joined by Soul Speak. If you missed that, check that out. This week we're going to be telling you some more of our personal stories. This is the Favor and Adam podcast. Anecdote.
Hell yeah.
Adam, would you like to begin?
Yeah, I think, well, we talked a bit about Freshers Week, but we didn't talk about the non-drinking events. You know what I'm talking about. Where to begin? There's a lot. Should we start with the Christians and Toasties?
The Christians and Toasties.
I feel like that's a
Let's
good
take it
place
away.
to begin. So I should describe what it is, because I don't know if other universities even have it. It could be uniquely Bath. It's basically this thing where you dial. It's like dial a toastie, but the Christian. Was it not Christian Society? What are they called?
I think it is just the Christian Society.
Okay, just
Is
the
it not?
Christian Society. I don't
Yeah.
know. They run it. So basically, you dial this number, and to get your toastie, you have to ask a question. Presumably about Christianity, but we didn't get that memo, so I didn't ask it about Christianity. But we'll get to that.
No, well, to be fair, in our defense, they never specified the question had to be about Christianity. They just said, ask a question,
Yeah.
you get a free toastie.
Yeah, exactly. Free toastie, free meal one night. It's nice and warm, fresh. They deliver
Exactly.
it, and then the idea is
Because I know some people, like a lot of people from other houses, told me that they were asking like maths questions and stuff and still getting the toasties. So
I mean, it could have been worse. We could have been like, who do you think's going to win, Godzilla or Kong? We didn't ask that sort of stuff. But the idea was they bring it along and they answer the question when they get to your house. So we went to gym. I remember we were at the gym, weren't we? And then we're like, oh, we'll order it now. You say where you are on campus and they bring it. We'll do it for when we get back to the flat.
yeah,
So we did it. We got back to the flat just a bit before them. My question was, do you think evolution is real? What was your question? I can't remember yours.
I think mine was, do you guys believe in life on other planets, or something like that?
Do you believe in aliens? Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you believe in aliens? There we go.
And they brought out like
Big
someone
guns.
who the big gun, someone who they locked away, and they saw our questions. They're like, right, we need to get him out. I can't remember his name, so I can't even give him a fake name because it might accidentally be his real name. You could tell he meant business. Appeared at the door. He's there with his entourage of Christians behind him, toasties in hand. Who ordered a toastie?
Now, before we continue the story, I'd like to say I'm Christian myself, so I think like this is like it's a great idea, like the way they went about it. But this guy was a little bit of
Yeah,
a little bit
the
extreme,
other Christians.
to say the least.
The other ones were fine, weren't they? I mean, he didn't really give them a
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
to speak, but they seemed chill.
Yeah, you didn't let them speak. You answered all the questions.
Yes.
They
He was
had
like,
no reason to come.
so I saw your questions and I had to come personally. So I took that personally. You know that meme where it's like, and I took that personally? That's him.
I know that meme.
Anyway, so he rolled up and which one did he answer first? My question or yours?
I think it must have been yours because I know that mine he had like a long rant about.
Rant.
Rant.
He had a long rant about mine as well, though.
Either way, he was there for like an hour.
They're meant to just drop it, answer the question, and go. And he sat down. When he took a seat, I was like, right, I'm going to eat my toastie now. I'm not going to wait.
It was crazy, man.
He was like, I don't believe in evolution because there's no evidence. So I asked, I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just asking for the sake of conversation. Is there the evidence that God created everything? And then he just it got personal then. And he just attacked me on a personal level. And I was like, oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, he was very offended when you asked that.
Yeah.
Um, but to be fair, I think literally every religion is just about faith. So it's not about whether there's evidence or not, but there is evidence of evolution. So I think that as Christians, personally, this is my personal view. I'm not saying that this is what every single Christian believes. I think that it's kind of selfish to be like everything else is wrong because we believe in this. Like there is proof of evolution. We can't just deny it because we're Christians. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. When he said something was, oh yeah, if we evolved from chimps, why are there still chimps? Man, that baffled me. I just sat there like, I don't know. Why are there still chimps? Why have they not evolved? Mind blown.
Oh man,
Straight facts.
no, but when he got to my question, it was a bit I don't even remember what he said. It was like, oh God, what was it? Well, I know he said if you're a Christian, it's impossible for there to be life on other planets, and I was like, why is that? Because I was genuinely curious. I asked
Yeah.
my question like, because I don't know. Like, it's not like you go to church and they're like, there are no aliens. Like, no, like that doesn't happen. So I genuinely asked. I was like, do you believe in life on other planets? He said, if you're a Christian, that it's impossible to believe in life on other planets. Um, and as I said earlier, this guy was very extreme. Like,
Hmm.
if you ask questions, he got offended. Like, he just wanted you to believe what he said
He took that
and
personally
nothing
every
else.
time.
And I kept telling him, I was like, the whole time I was like, I'm Christian too. I'm just asking questions. He was getting so mad. I
Hmm.
remember I asked like, why can't we believe in life on other planets or something like that? And he was like, well, fairly. Oh God, God created the earth and only the earth. Blah blah blah. And He only put living things on the earth. And I was like, well, it says God created the world, not the earth. And all the time in religion, people are interpreting things how they want to interpret it. So I was like, how do you know that the world doesn't mean the universe? Rather
Yeah.
than just meaning Earth specifically, because then where did the other planets come from if he only created Earth specifically?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Exactly.
and then he got yeah, and he got so mad. He was like, "Oh no, no! If you're a Christian, you should know this. Blah blah blah. God created the earth." I was like, "Well, I'm just asking, man. Like, relax, chill, take a chill pill. My toasties over here is getting cold. I just wanted a toastie. I just wanted a
It's
yes or
getting
no
wet.
answer. like, bro, like,
I
you
know.
wrapped up this toastie in aluminium foil. Like, that's not
It's
doing
getting
much for me.
sweaty.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to heat it
It's
up
getting
when you leave.
sweaty
Like this guy
toasty.
was already here for like 45 minutes. Literally, we lived in a flat of
Oh,
18 people. We lived in a flat of 18 people. There was like 9 of us in the kitchen. Everybody was just there like, why are these people still here? Like
why are they here to start
what have
with?
you guys
No one knew we
done?
invited them.
And oh, no, it was my question that came next because I know that after you finished your question, because I didn't want to eat my toasty like while they were answering your question.
Mm.
But after you finished your question and he was like, okay, on to the next question, you started eating your toasty and mine was still going cold. And I was just there like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Thing is, like when he was saying that the world is also the Earth, like there's no actual like definition of what the world is, because like
Yeah,
people say the end of the world when it's actually just affecting the human race, not the planet.
exactly. It's
So,
like that was my whole point. Like I wasn't trying to argue with him. I was just saying to him like, but world is up to interpretation. Like
mm,
how do we know that God hasn't made life on other planets? Like there is nowhere where it says Earth is the only place for you guys. Like, where does it say that? Because does that mean
right.
that people going into space are like sinners, or does that mean like people who go to like the moon are like blasphemous, or like it raises a lot of questions when you say Earth is
Mm.
the only place
Yeah,
for
it raised more
humans.
questions than he actually answered.
Exactly. And then he got mad at me for asking
But then I
when
mean,
I was
I
just
asked,
curious.
"Do aliens go to heaven?" He wasn't impressed by that. He just
But
stared at me.
that
He just gave me the death
that was a
stare.
bit of a yeah. I mean, if I
Can
was in
aliens
his
go to
position,
heaven?
I would do the same.
He didn't even. I don't know. I still don't know because he didn't
I
answer.
mean, to be fair, I mean, we don't know if other animals go to heaven.
I don't know. I should have asked that. That'd be a good gateway.
Like obviously, when you go to church at Sunday school, they teach you the standard stuff like John 3:16. Jesus gave his life. The standard stuff. But they don't like you. And then you get older, you go into like the big church where they like teach it, like this the big boy stuff, like that they don't want to expose
Yeah.
children to. But they never got into like the weird like gray areas. And that's what I think that a lot of churches should be doing more often, because like that's the stuff that if someone from a different religion comes and asks you, you'll just be there like,
Mm.
I don't know, and then you just look like an idiot because you don't know how to answer a question about your own religion. And I think that's what happened to this guy, because he was just angry, like he just got offended, and I was just there like, I'm not trying to offend you. I am also Christian. I'm just asking because I'm curious, and you said that you know about this topic.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you about this topic.
Yeah. Exactly. I think we were quite respectful in what we asked. Like, my original question wasn't to do with do you believe in evolution because you're Christian or whatever. It was just a genuine question because I didn't know it had to be a Christian question at the time. I think he took it as an offence that I was saying, oh, because you're Christian, evolution is better than God or whatever. Or he took it down that route, which I didn't mean at all.
Mm.
But yeah.
No, yeah, I get that though. I mean, I know that a lot of my Christian friends, when you ask them specific questions, it's like a trigger. But I think that we need to be like more open to people asking us those types of questions, because those are the stuff that's going to come up realistically. It's the gray areas that people are going to be asking us all the time. It's not going to be like, oh, so who is God? Like, no one is going to ask us that, because most people learn about Christianity in RE and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
we all know about that. Like, a lot of people go to Christian schools and don't become Christians. Like, a lot of especially if you live in the west of the world, UK, US, those sort of countries, like, probably in depth about Christianity. But the questions that Christians are getting are the ones that your standard person doesn't know, your standard Christian doesn't know. And that's what makes people look dumb when they don't know how to answer those questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then when you don't know, you feel like, when I get asked about something like politics, I do a politics degree, and I don't know the answer, you feel sort of put on the spot. And I can see why they would get defensive because like,
Exactly.
you're under this impression that because you're part of it, you're meant to know everything. That's impossible.
Exactly.
And then when someone asks you
Because if
something
someone
you don't
asks
know,
me a question, like if you ask me a question about Christianity that I don't know right now, I'll literally just straight up say, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll go study that.
yeah, I mean,
And that's what I say to my friends as well.
that's what I was saying. I'm like, when someone asks about politics, I don't know. I've been studying it for less than 2 years. Maybe I'll find out. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if I do know, you can go into depth, but you're not supposed to know everything.
Speaking of non, speaking.
There's many routes this could go down. I'm not sure which one you're going to pick out, so I'm going to let you say it before I react.
First year stories. Do you remember that time we got kicked out of the comedy club for laughing too hard?
Yes, I do. It's like getting kicked out of a restaurant for eating, or like, man, I got kicked out of the cinema for watching the film.
Can you imagine, like, all right. I can't even speak, man.
It was one of the Freshers Week things that was on, and only me and you went. No one else in their flat. And we went, and we came back like 5 minutes later, and I was like, I thought you were going to the comedy thing. Why are you back so quick? We're like, we got kicked out for laughing.
Oh my god.
They're like, you got kicked out of the comedy club for laughing. Yeah. What? Just.
And you know what the funniest part was, right? No one questioned it, and we were like, why aren't you guys weirded out by this event? And they go, because that's the type of thing that you
Yeah.
two would do.
They'd known us for like 3-4 days max, because this was like the Thursday. of Freshers' Week,
Exactly,
and
you know us for like 3 days.
they're like, yeah, we're not even surprised. And I was like, what? What do you mean?
If the joke was funny, it was funny, man. If I'm rolling on the floor laughing because the joke is funny, that's not my fault. You're
Laughing
kicked out
too
the comedy
loudly.
club. So you tried that airplane food? Just on the
So, life, am I right? And everyone's like, haha. Bro,
Hey, it's comedy, man. It's funny.
you're
It's
meant to
gold.
laugh.
I can't even drink my water.
Can't even drink. Oh, bro.
Oh no.
It was Soul Speak last week said that our style of podcast is a bit like virtual stand-up. Would you ever consider going into stand-up?
Oh, 100%. Because I know that a lot of stand-up comedians became stand-up comedians because they were originally podcasters and people just found them funny, and vice versa. A lot of podcasters became podcasters because they were stand-up comedians, and they like when they're not doing shows, they wanted to, like find something to do in that free time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I listen to a lot of comedians who do podcasts, especially over lockdown when they like couldn't go on tour and stuff. A lot more content out of comedians doing podcasts.
But yeah, the way when they described it like that, it was really interesting to me because I never thought of it that way.
No,
I like that idea of we are comedians, comedians in quotation marks, and we're allowing people to come up on the stage and tell their own stories, and we give the punchline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the metaphor that gave, wasn't it? It was quite, it was cool. It's like, because comedians always tell a story from their life, and it's almost as if halfway through the show we said, right, you from the audience can come up, tell your story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
And that makes it so much funnier because no one expects what someone is going to tell.
No, exactly.
No one knows.
Like half the time
Like,
we
I
don't
feel
know what
like-
they're going to say.
Exactly. I feel like after 7-8 episodes, people are gonna know the type of stuff we get up to in our lives. So realistically,
Getting kicked
I
out of the
think,
comedy club for laughing.
that's like, bro.
Oh, man.
Security's just looking at us like,
Like, get them out, they're having too much fun. It would make sense in COVID because when you laugh, you like, there's the idea that the viral spread, but this was pre-COVID, before COVID was even a thing. We were just having a good time. They're like, get out.
we're just trying to live our lives, man. We were freshers. Found it funny.
Oh, freshest take back, not caring the world. Do you remember the art tent? The art society tent?
Yes. When we had to draw each other upside down. Wait, no.
No, you have to look each other in the eye,
Yeah,
like a nice like couple.
you have to look
And you have
look
to-
each other in the eye and draw each
You
other.
have to draw each other without looking down at the page.
If you're seeing the pictures right now, they should be up on the screen.
Mhm.
I strongly believe Adam cheated.
Nah, but you were looking at you look
There is
each other
no
in the
way.
eye. How could I? I
There
don't have a
is no
lazy
way.
eye. I can look one down and look you in the eye still. You saw I was looking you in the eye.
There's no
How
way you
would
drew
I-
it that good. There's no way your drawing is that good.
Well, see,
Alright? Without looking at the paper.
I didn't take the pen off. That was my technique. So I was like, otherwise I'll lose where I am. So I was like, I'm just gonna. As I move my eyes around your face, I move the pen in the same way. You sort
Mine
of
is
like a.
mine was like the standard for like what an average person would do.
I look like I don't even know. I don't know. I just look bad. I don't know.
You know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes, I do. Oh, what's his name?
That's what you look like.
I look exactly like him.
Perfect character design, man. Perfect character design.
Do you know what you look like? You know that meme where it's like Spider-Man, and they have the like the face that just comes
Yes.
out. My dream of you looks like that. It's like Spider-Man. You can put it up on screen for people who haven't seen the meme.
Oh god, man.
And we took it back to the flat and put it on the wall, and we
hung it up
started
on
the
the
art
walls.
college because there's like a massive white wall.
Yeah, we had an art
Wow.
wall, man. I feel like no other flat was as lit
Ours was
as
too
ours.
lit.
I mean, nah, ours was only lit because you and I were there.
But yeah, obviously.
Like,
but
realistically, if you take one of us away, it just becomes an average
it
flat.
becomes half as lit. You know, everyone has that one lit person, but you know, two of us, unstoppable force.
That flat would have been so boring
Do
if we went
you remember
there.
Spilt Spaghetti? That masterpiece as well.
Yes!
Do you have that? I don't know where that went.
I don't have that. I don't know who has it. I think someone took it home. Spilt spaghetti sauce. Oh my
That's
god.
such a
Do you have a
Bartholomew
picture
thing
of
to
it?
do. Just nick our art.
Oh, please.
And it was beautiful because she put it like in the kitchen, and it looked like someone just spilled spaghetti on the wall. Because the idea was that you dip string in like orange paint, and you drag the string across the paper, and it'd make a piece of art, and you had to draw someone's portrait with it. It looked like spilt spaghetti.
Bro, it was actually beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It will be
Probably
on screen.
the best work of art that either of us have ever made.
Yeah, it's all
You know
downhill
what
from there.
this conversation has reminded me of though?
What?
You remember that time in Freshers Week? How many days into Freshers Week was this? Like 3 or 4? We broke the wall.
Oh, yes. We didn't. Someone.
We didn't.
Someone did.
It wasn't us. Yeah, totally wasn't us. I mean, someone in the flat broke the wall.
I have the video of someone breaking the wall.
Allegedly, someone in the flat broke the wall.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We were playing...
some members of the flat, maybe all of them, maybe not, were using the desk chairs from said people's rooms and a skateboard,
to play human bowling,
which somebody used to use human bowling. You push them on the chair down the hallway with the skateboard,
and we had stacked up cans.
Yeah, knock over the cans.
Cans of Strongbow or something.
This was quite early. I think this was like the third day. This was like the Monday. Like we all arrived on Saturday, Sunday. This was the Monday, I feel.
We'd only known each other. We'd known each other for less than like 72 hours when this happened. Like,
yeah,
we were playing human bowling. Not we.
No,
some members of the flat. Some members of the flat were playing human bowling with desk chairs and a skateboard. And well,
what idiots they were.
You could say they striked out because all the cans fell on the floor, and the skateboard just kept going. It just didn't stop. Everybody jumped. Everybody jumped out the way, and it just hit the wall. Just made like a giant gap.
But I had a big brain moment of how to fix it. Do you remember?
It was genius. It was like, just put a sheet of A4 paper over it.
Just put A4 paper over it, sellotape it. And security, who come through every night, didn't realise for, I kid you not, till like Christmas, which is like 3 months.
3 or 4 months.
Later.
They didn't realise for that long. And then when they did realise, they didn't know who to blame, obviously, because they weren't gonna go around the huge flat and just be like, "Oh, who broke the wall? Do you guys know?" Blah blah blah. Realistically, we all know that certain people would have snitched, but they just left a note on the table and they were like, "Next time something like this happens, it's a £50 fine for the entire flat." Yeah, but you know, it didn't happen again, luckily. So.
No, I'm quite good at fixing though. This year in the house, second year, first night I arrived in the new house. There's a bit of blue tack on the wall. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. I'll take the bit of blue tack off. As I pulled the bit of blue tack, it ripped off a chunk of wall, like from my new room, and I was like, "That's a deposit." Oh crap!
Like your landlord's gonna kill you.
I was like, because they're like, you're not allowed to stick stuff on the wall, but obviously whoever was there last had, because I don't know why they just stick a bit of blue tack to the wall. Then I saw another bit of blue tack. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to pay for this anyway. I might as well get the other bit of blue tack. Pulled down, it ripped another massive chunk out. I did that 3 times. 3 times I did that. But luckily...
I can't relate.
Luckily, the paint that they used for my room was still downstairs. So I popped down to the DIY store, like the discount store, and I brought the white wool filler paste.
Yeah.
Me and Andrew, who's my housemate, mixed up a batter, put it in. smoothed it out, repainted it with the exact same paint colours downstairs. You can't even notice.
Yeah, no, I
Genius.
remember this because you messaged me completely randomly, completely out the blue. You were like, "You got a big paintbrush?" I was like, "Uh, uh, maybe."
How big's your paintbrush,
I
bro?
found I found the biggest paintbrush I could and just dropped it off at your house.
Man, what times? I just that night I was so panicked, but then like next morning I was like, I can sort this. Don't worry, it's easy. Spent like £2
Yeah,
on wall filler rather than losing my whole deposit, which they probably would do.
£500.
That was two
Can you
things.
hang stuff up on the places where there are already
Oh
paintings?
yeah, yeah. So like
Alright,
there's like one or two paintings in each room, and like loads in
yeah,
the corridor as you've seen, like really old
yeah, yeah,
fashioned
yeah.
like flowers in the hall. So you can put them on the hooks, which I've done in my room. But there's one wall where there's like a massive wall down the side, which is as you see when I do the podcast. Usually, it's the white wall behind me. There's just nothing on it, so it's just a massive white wall.
That's the one that was destroyed when you took the blue tack off, wasn't it?
Yeah, because obviously someone last year had hung something up there or blue tacked it on and taken it, but not removed the blue
To be
tack.
fair, they were smart. They
Yeah,
were smart. They were smart.
pin it on me
If you
instead.
want to hang stuff up on your student walls, just don't take the blue tack off when you leave. Like, it's
Genius.
genius.
Yeah, that's genius. And
Genius.
I hang like I've got the painting from you that I put onto my wardrobe and chest of drawers and stuff
Yeah.
because she doesn't mind about that. It's weird rules. She's not like strict about everything, but she's weirdly strict about those two things. It's kind of strange. But
Yeah.
we move. It's a nice house, except for the lounge, which you criticise every time you come around.
Yeah, no, your lounge is ugly, bro.
Nothing's straight.
It's lopsided.
Yeah. All right.
Like
We need to tell the story.
one side of the floor in your lounge is slightly higher than the other
We
side.
had that, that spinning shot thing where you spin it and whoever it lands on takes a shot and it just goes like that down every time because the floor's not straight. So you can't actually play it anywhere.
Exactly. Like
Only the kitchen
your lounge,
counters are flat.
your lounge wasn't designed by an architect. I can tell you that. It was designed by like a drama student or something. Like it's very creative.
An artist. From like a niche
Your
couture
lounge
or
is
something.
very contemporary, bro.
Bro. Oh, no, I just remember that time we were sitting in the lounge and like, I'd never
Abstract.
realised before. We were just sat there on the sofa, went silent. You're actually your head back, just looking up. Then you turn to me and you go, "Bro, your room's wonky." and I look round and I'm like, "Oh yeah." And you're like, nothing in this room is lined up parallel or straight.
Literally,
Not a
literally. I
single
remember
thing.
I was just sat in your house. I was sat in your house. I was just looking around, like, yo, something's not right in here. And it was everything.
Something is right. It's only one thing. Nothing, literally nothing, and the doors don't even like line up.
Even your what's it called? Your fireplace wasn't in the center of the room.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
It's fucked up. And then you had a tiny little TV that's just that's hung up like 2.5 meters higher than the
sit like this watching it. Oh, that's really cool.
yeah. You finish a movie, you just have like 7 different problems in your neck. Like
And also, the sofa that face it directly can only fit 2 people on, but there's 5 in our house. So the other sofa that goes down the side, you have to sit like this the whole time, watching the film.
yeah, it was not great, man. It was not great.
But seeing as you can't unsee how wonky that room is now. Every time I walk in there, I get anxiety, and it's because of Faber. He just dropped the grenade. He walked in, and was like, sat there for a while, then he's like, yeah, it's
Like,
wonky.
bro, your house is fucked.
Then left.
And just left.
He just ruined.
And now you always
Dip.
notice it.
Yep, you can't unsee it, and he just dipped.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I remember when we were looking for houses last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember we came back from a night out at like 4 a.m. and we had a house viewing at like 8 a.m.
And then it was like late as well when we wasn't drinking. And then the next morning, house viewing at like 9 a.m. where we were all just sat there in the pub wanting to die. I can't remember that house at all. I just remember there was a pub near it where we went for substance. And then
I remember we were like, after we got there, we were like, we have to go to another house viewing now. Like, do we
oh
do
yeah,
we
me
go straight
too.
there? Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
And then wait, we got an Uber to the first one, right? I
I
think,
think so.
or we got the bus or
You got the
something.
bus, I think. Yeah, bus.
Yeah. And then after that, to the next one, we walked an hour, like a solid hour. Wait, was it you? I think it was Andrew actually. Andrew was like, "Guys, it's not that far. Let's just walk.
Yeah, no, it
Let's
was.
just
Yeah.
walk."
And
We were just like, "Alright, fine. Screw it. What's the worst that can happen?" Google Maps said what, 45 minutes, bro.
hmm
It was it
it
was
was
a
a
40.
straight hour.
It was an adventure. I'll tell you that. It was an adventure. You know it's bad when Google Maps takes you through a car park.
Yeah.
Because it even even Google Maps doesn't know where you're going.
We got Mr. D's though. Do you remember that was nearby? That was good.
Yeah, that was right in front of the house that we checked.
That was cool.
Mr. D's is something else. I don't know. I don't know if they have if it's like a chain or if it's just a bar thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
But
true.
if you ever go to Mr. D's, one burger is 1,000 calories. Just remember that. Just remember that.
Jeez. Whew.
Anyway, should we end it there?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. This has been episode 6 of Anecdote the podcast. We've loved speaking to you guys. Adam, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, don't invest with McDonald's.
Don't invest in McDonald's. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And share
Yes.
this video with your friends.
Comment down below what you would like to see us do in future episodes of Anecdote. And if you want to listen to us on the go, check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The link is on our Instagram.
Great. And we always forget to say this. If you have any stories, hit us up. We are
Yes.
always down to listen to them. You don't even have to show your face. You don't have to speak. We can tell your stories.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
We can change your name for legal reasons. We'll tell your story, change any names of places, your name, anything you want. And we'll tell it for you if you don't even want to be there.
Exactly.
And get your story out there.
Thank you for listening. See you guys next week.
See you.